Hello, this is Erica Holston, and I am your Honey Love Dating Coach. I am so excited to be here with you today. We are going to have a little girl talk when it comes to speaking about 5 signs that you are forcing yourself to like a man. You could be a single woman and you are dating with a purpose. The reason why you are dating is for marriage, and you want to make sure that you are compatible with the right kind of guy. When it comes to you dating men, you could be talking with men over the phone or even going out on dates, and things can seem to be going well. And you could have different things that you desire in a man. You have learned from your relationship lessons, and there could be a couple of men or one man in particular where he is a nice guy, but it doesn't feel like you are compatible with him. The reason why I am doing this video is because if you feel like you need to force yourself to like a guy, I want you to know that you don't need to force yourself. It is best to actually be patient and wait for your Mr. Right to come along. So I hope that these tips and advice will give you some clarity and for us to chat for a little bit. So the number one tip is you could actually not see a future with him, but you're dating him anyway. You could be dating him out of convenience, out of boredom, and because your Mr. Right has not come along, you're just possibly thinking to yourself, like, okay, well, I just need, someone to hang out with. And so when it comes to that, if this is you, I would just suggest to say that even though that you're dating him, maybe you will want to put him in the friend bucket, because if you can't see your future with him, if you don't feel an authentic connection with him, there's no reason you forcing yourself to like him. It's just best to, again, wait for your Mr. Right to come along. My second tip is that you wish that something would go wrong because you don't want to break up with him. And when I was a single woman, I actually went through this experience because you don't want to seem like you're a bad person. And, you could possibly even think to yourself that I don't want him to ask me what's wrong with him. You know what I mean? And so when it comes to that, because you could not be confrontational and you don't want to break it off, or that he would possibly take it hard, again, don't force yourself to like this man, and don't force yourself to continue being in a dating relationship with this man, especially if you want something to go wrong, as far as like, him ghosting you, or you want him to, just flat out stop calling you, stop texting you. And then, if he were to call you after a few days, then, you have something to say like, oh, well, I guess I wasn't that special after all. And because you didn't call me or text me, I just moved on with my life. And so if you feel like you want something to go wrong, maybe it's best to reevaluate, the dating relationship that you have with this guy, and maybe just, again, possibly put him in the acquaintance bucket, the friends bucket, or maybe a guy that you just go out to have a good time versus wasting your time calling yourself dating a guy that you don't really like, but then again, you could actually be forcing yourself to like this type of guy. And then when it comes to my third tip, number three, is you long to be in love with a man, but you only like him out of convenience. So you know what love feels like. You know what makes you feel loved. You know the words that you desire to hear. You know the actions that you want your Mr. Right to treat you, and you know the kind of dating experience that you want to have. And those things are good to desire. And with you wanting to be in love, it is a good thing and it is a good sign that your Mr. Right could be on the way. And if you are forcing yourself to like a guy when it comes to like versus love, which one would you rather have? Right? So wouldn't you want to have a man who calls you and he makes you feel special, or buys you gifts and he makes you feel special, or even the conversations go in places and it's like real rich type of conversations, and this type of man can make you feel like you have been longing to feel. And I believe that you had that longing and that desire for a reason. And because of that, it is okay to hold on to that longing and that desire. And again, it is an indication that your Mr. Right could be on the way. So if you are forcing yourself to like a guy because he looks good on dating resumes, or he looks good as far as the things that you want, but you're not truly feeling a connection with him, when it comes to you forcing yourself liking him, your like isn't going to develop into the love that you truly desire. Wouldn't it be best to actually wait for your Mr. Right to come? Wouldn't it be best to wait for that authentic connection? And when you hear your Mr. Right's voice, that your eyes just light up, or when he does something special for you, that your heart just feels so warm. Also, your Mr. Right will be consistent. And with this Mr. Right now, he's not Mr. Right. And so if you are forcing yourself to liking this type of man, you're pretty much cheating yourself. Number 4 is that you are constantly texting or calling the man that you are forcing yourself to like. And you're doing this because you want him to feel like you are consistent. You want him to have you on the top of his mind because you know he'll take you out on a date and you don't want to be in the house bored. I would just suggest to call a thing, and instead of you saying like, "Oh, we're dating," just say we're just having a good time, we're friends. Instead of wasting your heart's time and energy and effort just to prove a point. Wouldn't you want to have a man that actually pursues you? Wouldn't you want to have a man that will love you and cherish you and be there for you, where you feel like you can build a future together? Instead of you forcing yourself to liking a man that isn't, that you cannot see a future with. So if you're calling and texting him to be consistent and for him to feel like that he has a chance with you, sooner or later, you guys are going to come to a fork in the road and you're going to have to decide, what are we? Right? Number 5 is you hardly smile when you're with him. It's almost like you have to force yourself to smile. And how does that feel? How does it feel to force yourself to like a man? How does it feel to kind of force yourself to smile because he can see the discontent on your face when you go out on a date. And you know that you don't want to give the wrong impression. So when it comes to you actually having a dating experience, it's like not only are you forcing yourself to liking this type of guy, you're actually kind of forcing yourself to having a good time. When you meet your Mr. Right, it's not going to be like that. He's going to make you smile just by his character, who he is, what he believes, his core values, how he treats you, even girl, how he looks at you. Okay. And so when a Mr. Right treats you, when your Mr. Right treats you like this, it is going to be like the best feeling ever. Wouldn't you rather wait for this type of man? Even if you feel like, yeah, I don't feel like hearing it. And you have every right to feel that way. And I get it. But I want you to know you should not force yourself to liking a man. You should wait until you feel an authentic connection and until you feel something special. And when you feel something special, it is irreplaceable. Nothing can replace that. And what God brings together, can't nobody separate the two of you. So when you are forcing yourself to liking a man, think about it. Think about what you're doing. And I want to give you a tip on when you find yourself liking a man, pause, take a moment of self reflection, and ask yourself, why are you making yourself like him? And when you do this, you are going to decide the best decision for you. I know you are. Wait on your Mr. Right. Wait for that authentic connection. Wait for that moment that is irreplaceable. Wait for that moment. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to get tired. I'm not saying that you're not going to get frustrated. I'm not saying that you can't actually go out and have a good time on dates or have good conversations with men that you meet. I'm not saying that because you can. But when you meet your Mr. Right, it is going to be so special, and you're not going to have to force yourself liking him. You're not going to have to force yourself having a good time. All those things are going to be organic. And when they are organic, you are going to say, Erica, Coach Honeylove, she said this moment would come. So I hope that these tips and signs have given you some things to think about. My name is Erica. I am a Honeylove dating and relationship coach. I help single women overcome dating challenges to position themselves as wives and for them to attract their Mr. Right. I do this with dating tools, self reflection, and supporting women on their dating journey. I have enjoyed my time with you. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.